The Industrial Revolution marked a major turning point in Earth's ecology and how humans interact with their environment. It marked a shift to more powerful and specialized machinery and resulted in improved systems of transportation, communication, and banking. While industrialization brought an improved standard of living for some, it often resulted in grim employment and living conditions, as well as a lot of carbon dioxide emissions. Since the Industrial Revolution began, humans have increased the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere by more than 1 trillion tons in just 150 years. Developed economies like the United States and Europe have contributed to 64% of the cumulative carbon emissions since 1850. As a result, the Kyoto Protocol has placed a heavy burden on developed nations under the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. However, the effects of high concentrations of CO2 are being seen by developing nations like India, where global warming is already affecting millions of people. Indians are observing changes in their temperatures and weather. They also report more frequent droughts and floods. Rising seas could displace an estimated 37 million people in India by 2050, which is significantly more than any other country. The Indira Gandhi Institute of Development Research reported that predictions relating to global warming made by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change comes true. Climate-related factors could cause India's production to fall by 40%. Barack Obama visited India on the 26th of January to talk about how the nation could combat climate change at its roots.
And being global partners means confronting the urgent global challenge of climate change. With rising seas, melting Himalayan glaciers, more unpredictable monsoons, cyclones getting stronger, few countries will be more affected by a warmer planet than India. Now, the United States recognizes our part in creating this problem, so we're leading the global effort to combat it. And today I can say that America's carbon pollution is near its lowest level in almost 2 decades. I know the argument made by some that it's unfair for countries like the United States to ask developing nations and emerging economies like India to reduce your dependence on the same fossil fuels that help power our growth for more than a century. But here's the truth. Even if countries like the United States curb our emissions, if countries that are growing rapidly like India, with soaring energy needs, don't also embrace cleaner fuels, then we don't stand a chance against climate change. So we welcome India's ambitious targets for generating more clean energy. We'll continue to help India deal with the impacts of climate change, because you shouldn't have to bear that burden alone.
As India develops into one of the most powerful nations in the world, its soaring energy needs are being filled by fossil fuels, most notably coal. 90% of India's coal is from strip mines, which has a relatively higher ash content than underground mines used in China and the West, that makes it roughly twice as polluting. Its mines and power plants directly affect millions of residents through mercury poisoning, decaying teeth, and mental disorders. Methane is commonly found in these underground mines, which has a 23 times stronger effect on global warming than even carbon dioxide. Even though the central and state governments own all the mines, and social and ethical concerns for the people have often been neglected for the advancement of the economy. Coal India Limited is one of the largest coal miners in the world, and almost all of its coal comes from open-pit mines in the forest regions of central and eastern India. The adoption of clean energy technologies is vital to alleviating poverty, expanding rural development, and protecting health and promoting sustainability and environmental quality. The social and cultural well-being of populations in relative poverty is a primary concern of sustainable development. Decentralized energy systems are able to supply energy to remote and rural areas where centralized fossil fuel industries are unable to reach, while lowering costs and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Daniel N. Kamen of University of California, Berkeley has also found that electricity from fossil fuels creates 1.01 jobs per megawatt per hour generated, while solar energy employs 7.41 for the same amount of energy produced, which means that investing in renewable energy helps create more jobs for the economy, which would also help alleviate poverty. The use of renewable energy in rural areas helps raise incomes and improve health, provides power to pump water for irrigation, to process crops, and power cottage industries, to light homes, schools, and hospitals. All services of premier importance and immeasurable impact in the remote rural areas. It also gives the community a sense of empowerment since it is more involved in its own energy development. Many economists have validated proactive climate change strategies. Prior to the Kyoto meeting, over 2,500 economists, including 8 Nobel laureates, stated that action to protect the global climate makes economic sense. The benefits of slowing global warming, they argued, would outweigh the total costs. Market-based policies to tackle the problem would not harm living standards and would in fact improve productivity in the longer run. Sir Nicholas Stern, in November 2006, released a report that found that not acting to avert climate change could cost the equivalent to 5% GDP annually, while reducing greenhouse emissions would limit costs to 1% annually. These strategies will not only protect the nation from the growing risks of climate change, but will create more jobs, provide energy to otherwise dark communities, and grow the economy.
The bottom line is, we have never, nor will we ever, have to choose between a healthy economy and a healthy environment.
As India moves to further grow its economy and move its population out of poverty, it should consider investing in renewable energy sources and have stricter controls on its coal mines in order to protect the people of India and the world.